No, I just lay on my bed, watch some videos. Just
Okay. Um, what do you think is your best quality, personal quality?
um the feeling that I have a very high likelihood of being able to correct people because of how much I've learned and how much I've come to know. If they say something weird that can actually get me mad, I can easily come back at them with facts that make it seem like um, they're the stupid ones, that they're the really bad, very um, I don't want to say disturbed, but very
Ignorant?
yeah.
That wouldn't strike me as an effective way to make friends.
No, I'm like no, not necessarily. No, not if just they say something bad, I correct them and stuff. I mean, I do want to correct them, but like if someone's coming at me like let's say we're having an argument about World War II and what happened. Well, you can say something wrong that just and I try and I not I don't want to say argument, but more of a debate at first. And you say something wrong, I try and correct you, and they call me stupid and all that. Saying that, well, I've got the background knowledge to easily say that they're wrong without looking in a book. And then if they don't believe me, I have sort of the joy of going to a book and showing them that.
Okay, so if I was to say what's one of your favorite personal qualities, it would be that you're smart.
Hmm.
Okay, or you have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's something you need to work on?
I still need to work on being more social, like because it is night. I do feel sort of a peace of being alone, but it's still good to have some sort of friendship.
Do you have to push yourself in that direction?
I mean, I don't have to, but it'd be nice to be able to.
And do you enjoy it once you have it?
Um,
Or is it a struggle for you?
um, at first, it can be a struggle because I've made a couple friends in some of my classes, like not necessarily friends that I invite over, but people that I talk to, like if it's free time in class and stuff like that, or I see them in the hall, they say hi. But at first it's a bit difficult because of what I talk about and stuff like that, what I'm into.
We talked, I think last year, about your awareness of having any specific condition?
Mm-hmm.
And what is that awareness?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Well, you talked last year about having something about when you got back from Germany, that the trip to Germany gave you some perspective on your life that made you think you had tendencies toward, what's the word you used? Isolation, antisocial. Does this ring a bell?
Not really. I think what I meant is I've got tendencies to easily like I'm easily able to seclude myself. Like I don't need to work to it's not one of those I'm not one of those people that you see on like Survivor or stuff like that where they sort of get really weird if they're alone. Um but I can easily draw myself um out of the social area, sort of, you know, pull out of that. So,
But when you say you're different, do you feel like you think differently? Or that your brain works differently than other people or anything like that?
yeah, I try. What I like doing, it's sort of it's just sort of what I like doing, sort of how my brain works is, if it feels like something got really random after having conversation, is I try thinking of what we started with and what the ending product of that conversation is, and see how far apart those things can get.
And what do you discover?
I discovered that I can get really off track really fast.
Okay.
So,
Oh, no, what you were talking about last year, I remember now, was when you were in Germany, you started to learn a lot more about social cues. Does that ring a bell?
no.
You said better at reading people and what they were thinking about you, and
Oh, okay.
does
Now it's starting to.
okay. So have you discovered anything more on that front?
Not really, just because of how few people have been talking to me. Just because I said because in the really every single class period I sit in the front, so I'm not able to see what other people are really doing that involve me. Like at lunch, I eat lunch very fast. I'm a very fast eater. And when I'm done, I always go up to my next period and sit in the lounge that's right next to the class and just do my thing. Just watch some documentaries.
So are you alone a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot because, there's a couple people that I talk to on lunch. I've got a couple friends in math. But, I guess I would say that I'm alone a lot more than most people.
And why do you think that is?
Because I don't because because I don't necessarily push for social contact. I don't push to be noticed, which is again something that a lot of people do. Because when you start pushing to be noticed, when you start pushing to have attention, people start looking at you sometimes in the wrong way.
So do you purposely sort of lay low?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What makes you really angry?
I'm starting to get more to really arrogant people. Those are the people that's my pet peeve, arrogant people. They just drive me up the wall. I can't deal with them.
Conceit or cluelessness or what is it?
Like what I said about like the correction of people. They if they keep they state that they are right. No matter how, even if they know that I know a lot about World War II, because I've said that I really enjoy World War II history. I know a lot about it.
Yeah.
And they push saying that I'm wrong on the most simple things.
Are they arrogant or are they trying to push your buttons?
Well, it's become pretty obvious, especially last year, that I don't like arrogant people. It's become really obvious because there were a lot of arrogant people last year. People knew that they were arrogant, and they saw that I did not like them. So they've been able to figure out that I don't like arrogant people. So they start pushing as arrogant to just piss me off.
Oh, okay. That's what I was asking you. So some people try to have fun with you by pissing you off.
Pretty much. It's not as hard. It's not as, and there's a lot of sophomores in. I guess I'm more advanced in the science part because where people right now would be in biochemistry at my age, I'm in biology is the next step up. So there's a lot of, I think about more than half the class is sophomores. So that's sort of unnerving in a way because they're trying to just push me out of that classroom because I guess they don't. This may seem sort of arrogant of me, but they don't like seeing someone that's just a younger person that's as smart as them in that classroom.
Yeah, they're threatened by that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that almost feels like sometimes you get bullied.
Yeah, It's not necessarily. I'd say it's bullying, but it's just people just making slight movements to annoy me. Like there's someone that used to sit behind me as of today because I've been telling the teacher what he's been doing, but he keeps doing annoying things um to to push me quite literally because he keeps pushing on my seat. Um, whenever he stretches, he leans over like this and just pushes my head with his journal. So, you know,
Why do you think he's doing that?
I don't know. Yeah, I had because he was a seventh grader when I was a sixth grader at Beaver Lake, so we got and we I knew who he was. He was not very nice to me then because I was I was talking with my friend who apparently was also his friend. Um, and I was just joking around with him, and I don't know what I did to piss him off, but this kid picked me up and threw me into a trash can. So
That's not very nice.
no,
That's bullying.
yeah. So I told someone. I don't know what happened to him.
What's been your worst incident of bullying? Was that it?
No, the worst one was I was biking on my way to back home. I think sixth grade. It was either sixth grade or early in seventh grade. Um, where I was biking, and people started throwing rocks at me. There are three ponds called the science ponds, and people are just over there starting to throw rocks at me. So I had to bike really fast home. I could still see their faces, so I told some of the administration about what happened, and I was able to tell who a couple of them were. And eventually people started picking on me about, I'm being a snitch. It was just a game, and people just kept picking on me a lot from that.
What did that make you feel like?
At telling people something is the wrong thing to do.
Do you feel that's true?
Not necessarily because now because of how much anti-bullying stuff is going on, is because of how many teachers there are here. There are more teachers at the school than there are classrooms. So there's always teachers walking by. So it's very hard to pick on someone in the hallways without an adult noticing.
Okay, but
So
throwing rocks is not just good fun.
Mm-mm.
I mean, that's malicious.
Yeah.
So they were kind of trying to come off like, hey, you're being too uptight.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. We were just kidding. But they were throwing rocks.
I mean, they weren't big rocks. They were small pebbles about this big,
Yeah.
and they didn't have very good aim. I mean, they hit me a couple of times in the legs and on my bike, but so.
Lawsuit. Okay. Last time you cried, and why? And not due to like a hurt knee, something that was emotional.
A couple months ago, someone called me a Nazi. So I punched them in the mouth. I was sent to the office. I got suspended. He just got some lunch detention.
Wow.
So.
And because you know about the Nazis, it was not just a casual word to you.
Yeah. Well, he didn't say it specifically. So that it's a history class. It's a world history class, and in that class, and this is the time where sophomores are learning about World War II, and up on the wall, up on the whiteboard, it just said Nazi. I don't know why. Like it was just by itself. He went up to me. He pointed at the wall and he said, "See that word? That's what you are."
And then what did you do?
I stood up, punched him in the mouth.
Like hard?
As hard as I could.
Okay. I'm glad you did that, or you sad you did that?
I'm glad I did it because normally I would break out in tears. I would scream. I'd run to the teacher. But I do still feel bad that I did punch him. I don't feel bad for him. I feel bad for myself that I resorted to punching. But I felt glad that I was able to stand up to someone who was almost literally twice my size. I mean, he was a really big football player. He's a big junior. I mean,
And you just hauled off and punched him in the mouth?
he was sitting down, so I was able to stand up. He was almost at eye height with me, so I just punched him.
Did he cry?
No, he stood up. I'm like, oh.
And then what happened?
And then when he stood up, it made enough racket that the teacher heard it, looked up, and so that probably saved me. So, but
Did he ever try to get you back?
no.
So I would imagine after you punched a football player in the mouth, someone twice your size, you don't really get too much crap from people.
No.
So it was actually a pretty good thing.
Sort of, yeah. Wasn't good with the administration because I had a previous run-in with him, where he was being a really annoying person in first period. So I yelled at him, and I got some so I got some Saturday work where you go to the school on Saturday and you have to work around the school, like clean up and stuff like that. And then this time, I think it was the Thursday before the thing that that happened. So then I got suspension.
And so when you got suspended, is that what made you cry? Or was
Pretty much.
being
No,
called
it
a
was.
Nazi?
It was that part really drove me up. It wasn't the fact that I got suspended. It was the fact that I got suspended and he only got lunch detention. That was the part that made me cry.
Gotcha. So you felt that was unjust.
Yeah.
Okay. Colin, look back over your 15 years.
Mhm.
And what do you think's the most difficult thing you've ever faced?
Probably the most unstereotypically was the fact that moving to Germany. That was one of the hardest parts, getting into the new school very early on. On the first day, getting picked on really bad. I don't know why. Just that was really the hardest part. Is the first day that I was in that school, I got into the class, people started picking on me, just like that, and then it was the hardest thing to get up again the next day and get onto the bus to get to school. So.
But you did.
Yeah.
And Germany ended up being kind of a positive thing for you.
Mm-hmm. School was It was the hardest part of Germany. Everything else was really easy.
What did your dad say about that?
I can't quite remember.
I mean, he must have been upset the fact kids are treating you that way.
I can't quite remember what happened. That's really the only thing. The only thing that I can remember is what they did.
Yeah. Okay. Three wishes. Anything you want. Cat, more wishes.
Have the ability that Puget Sound would be totally clean. All the world's waters would be completely cleaned up of the pollution. World peace would leave a lot of people out of a job.
You what?
World peace would leave a lot of people out of a job.
Unless they were like making flowers.
Yeah. Organizing dancing rings. Bullying to stop. And somehow get a full scholarship. Because I was really surprised at what scholarships there are.
Where would you like to go?
Well, Wazoo has a really good it has a really good student connection group, really good student connection. Like they work with